Hi.
This is great.
We got 3 signs. We got 3 more signs, you know.
Yeah. You're gonna come back out and help us out here?
Are they, anything on? I probably
No, nothing's going on yet.
Let's stay out here, guys.
I want to kill some time.
Yeah.
Don't want to get too bored in there.
Exactly. Because
In
it's
a little while you're going to go in.
yeah, we'll go
Boring.
inside a
It's
little
more
bit.
boring in there, believe it or not. Right now, nothing's going on yet.
Now, you're Brian from Windham, correct?
Yeah.
Somebody told me that the gun advocates didn't have very much of a play in the 53rd special election. Is that true?
I was there from the beginning. I was at a lot of meetings. I brought up a lot of questions with the candidate. I made sure that something regarding the Constitution was mentioned on the palm card that got handed out to 5,000 people. And well, I shouldn't say I made sure. I brought it up and the candidate agreed to it. We had a lot of volunteers knocking on doors, people making phone calls, driving from all over the state.
You think that's a good blueprint to be repeated in other districts across the state next year?
Absolutely, it needs to happen, what, 100 and however many districts we have. It
It's
needs to
100
happen in every single town.
187 districts.
Yep.
This man here that we're here, John McKinney, he's in 28th State Senate District in Fairfield and Newtown and Easton and Weston. And I don't think we want him to return.
No, I'm here
second
to
that.
see. I'm here to see the face of an unprincipled Republican leader, and I will be at the convention next year for whoever's trying to get the nomination. So,
Thank you for getting involved.
Next question is from Brian Saucier from Windham.
I'm hoping to see Mr. McKinney here tonight, but same question to the three of you. What do you see as the future of the Republican Party with leadership like Mr. Farrow, King, Lapidola, that are unprincipled and dishonest enough to trash the Constitution in one breath and then complain about constitutional spending caps the next? This kind of speaks to some of the questions I heard tonight of getting a wider base involved in the Republican Party. How are we going to accomplish that with leadership like that?
I'm going to take a stab at that, and Tony, you're going to get the gist. He wants to know how the Republican Party can move forward.
I'm my interpreter here.
Yeah, he believes, he's stating that he feels there's a lot of unprincipled leadership, and you specifically are mentioning the leader of the Senate and the leader of the House,
Republican side.
and the leader of State Central. Yeah. I've had that question. I have been on the campaign circuit for a while, and I have found myself frequently in a position to try to defend the votes of my Republican colleagues on a variety of issues, but most specifically on the gun issue. And I'll just say from me to you, I'm not comfortable standing up for somebody else, nor am I comfortable trying to defend them. So I can only answer the question now. Good people are running for office, and we as Republicans need to see who they are, and we need to do what we can to elect them.
And, you know, it was hard, I think, for the, you know, it was an easy vote for me. I didn't have any problems because with the gun vote, I stood up in front of the Senate and I just said, the whole premise didn't strike me as being correct. Because what you had was in one column, you had a person who was mentally deranged, who shot the person that was the best in the world to him, his mother, went down and killed 20 babies and 6 adults. Somebody who admired mass murderers. That's you had in one column. And somehow, the legislature connected the dots and penalized the men and women at the different rod and gun clubs. And people like me, actually, I'm an NRA member. I don't consider it a bad group. I have a pistol permit. I'm not a bad person. I'm not going to hold up a convenience store on the way home. I'm too old to get away. They don't run like I used to. But the point is that connecting the dots made 0 sense to me. And I know there was pressure on, especially John McKinney, in fairness. He's a very smart young guy. He's always been a good gun guy. Came from Newtown, he represents Newtown. It's a lot tougher vote for him. He sat and cried with those parents. He was in the firehouse with the parents. More of an emotional vote for him probably than the rest of us. You know, I mean, it was emotional for all of us. I got grandkids too. That is an absolutely despicable act of a person who's, it's hard to even understand how somebody comes to the conclusion that that's a good thing to do. But
The gun control is really only one issue out of a wider theme of government that we've heard it from other times, just out of control. And
oh, it is out of control.
gun control is just a very clear example that a lot of people understand because a lot of people have their heads on straight. But what the leadership failed to use to take advantage of was a situation to show something drastically different from the status quo, from whether that's Democrat or Republican, something different than the people connecting have seen for, I don't know, probably as long as I've been alive in that. So, again, the guy I wanted to talk to is not here tonight, but I'm trying to get a better understanding of, besides the self-serving, serving their constituents angle, I understand that. That just, that's only half of their job. The first and more important part of their job is upholding the Constitution, and they fail to do it. So I'm struggling to see how that kind of leadership is going to move the Republican Party forward.
Well, I mean, this is going to be a test, obviously. You know, there's 4 people out there. I think, you know, I'm hoping Penny's the lieutenant governor, no matter who our gubernatorial candidate is there. I've known her for a long time. I'm a friend of her dad. She's smart, hardworking, and she'll do a great job. Common sense person. And then the gubernatorial, you got 4. You know, you got Foley, who ran last time. You got Cafaro, you got McKinney, and you got Boughton, who's the mayor of Danbury. And I think this primary will sort that all out. And I think the members of the Republican Party will have their say. And you know, if the majority agree with what you're thinking, that some of them didn't uphold the Constitution, then they're not going to be the nominee.
I would add that the way that the leaders are chosen is from the individual elected representatives, both the state senators and the reps. So when we are elected, we go in and we choose our leader. And Senator Guglielmo does the same thing too. So the majority of Republican state senators supported Senator McKinney, and the same with the majority of House representatives. And you don't do it looking at one particular issue, as important as this issue is, and as near to that issue all of us are to it. You look at it, you know, the day after you're elected, you look at it, and in our case, we elected a leader even before, I believe, the tragedy happened in Windham. So it's just the way things happen. So there's no right answer that we're going to be able to give you that's going to.
There'll be a referendum on it coming up.
Yeah.
You know, with the primaries, and
You got to let your voice be heard.
and I'm sure you will.
I answered first.
Oh, you did?
Yes.
I must have been asleep.